Hello everyone, I'm ODD, and this is an open letter to Cody from Cody'S Lab YouTube channel. Recently, you uploaded a video called Measuring Earth's Radius with a Telescope. In the video, you did an experiment with your telescope looking 36 miles across the Great Salt Lake. I'm going to link your video in the description so people can watch it for themselves. I just want to point out a few things that maybe you haven't ever thought about. When you were looking at the Kanalina smokestack from across the lake, you determined that 694 feet of it was visible and 521 feet was hidden by the curvature. I think I know why. Let's look at a clip from Rob Skiba about atmospheric lensing or atmospheric magnification.
I went to a few websites. I just did a Google how much water is in the atmosphere, and this is the USGS website, usgs.gov, Science for a Changing World. The USGS Water Science School talks about there is always water in the atmosphere. Clouds are, of course, the most visible manifestation of atmospheric water, but even clean air contains water in particles that are too small to be seen. One estimate of the volume of water in the atmosphere at any one time is about 3,100 cubic miles, or 12,900 cubic kilometers. And it goes on to say that if all the water that's in the atmosphere were to rain down at once, it would cover the globe to a depth of about 1 inch. And this is confirmed on a number of websites, but I'll just show you one more just for the sake of argument here. This is the Y Files, the science behind the news. They have an article, How Much Water is in the Atmosphere. It says, at any moment, the atmosphere contains an astounding 37.5 million billion gallons of water in the invisible vapor phase. This is enough water to cover the entire Earth, land and ocean, with 1 inch of rain. And of course goes on to talk about that as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of water in the atmosphere. I think we all kind of just know that, but I don't think we've ever really thought about what that means. If the atmosphere, especially over water, is made up of zillions and zillions of tiny convex drops of water, then collectively perhaps they all combine to make one big convex lens, in which case it would act like a magnifying glass. Check this image out right here. Now, I caught this image shortly after Rick and I returned from our trip across the lake. We grabbed a bite to eat and then we went out to the beach, and it was still clear out, so we got the camera out and looked 46 miles across the lake to see this right here. This image is extraordinary. Okay, the boat right here, I'm gonna guess, is less than a mile away. And I base that because these people walking in front of the camera here are walking across some rocks that sort of jut out and kind of fence in the harbor area, and they are only about a quarter of a mile away from where we were when I shot this. I shot this image from right about here. This is where we were looking across, and this is the area right here where those people were walking. And the boat, as you could tell by the size of the people on the boat, wasn't too much further beyond that. So maybe a half mile to a mile, or at the most, I would say, away from where we were. Alright, now when I was headed back to Chicago to catch my flight, I snapped this picture of the Willis Tower. And this is, if you go on Google Earth, this is right about the area right here where I believe I was when I took that picture. Looking across, it's only about 0.6 of a mile. So I'm just a little over a half mile away, and look at the size of the tower as compared to the car that was diagonally in front of me. We were looking at the Willis Tower from this direction right here when we were on the other side of the lake. Now, okay, so let me slide the car over and shrink it down to the appropriate scale beside the boat. Do you see something rather interesting here? This building is significantly magnified. The image on the left shows the size and scale of the building next to a car at 0.6 of a mile away. The image on the right shows the same building and the same car with a boat at 46 miles away. The atmosphere really is acting like a lens. What type of lens? A convex lens or a magnifying glass. So I'm going to suggest this is what's happening. The atmosphere is acting like a lens, which magnifies the city, brings it up a little closer, and as it does so, we start to lose a little bit of the bottom of the buildings, and perhaps due to the density in the atmosphere, there's an additional refraction that takes place that makes it drop down even more. Is that what happened? Let's look at it from another angle here, from the side view. I'll bring our graphic back in of refraction. Let's go ahead and orient the graphic so it better represents what we're looking at here. I'll angle the light rays to show the density of the air here causing the refraction, and bring our lens in so we can magnify the city. It brings the city up, and as it does so, we start to lose a little bit of the bottom of the city, and perhaps either due to the magnification or due to additional refraction, maybe it is dropped down a little bit more, and this is what we end up with. Huh. Just like we saw. Now this is a still frame from the half-hour video that I did, and the numbers you see there are all based on the numbers that Tony was giving me based on his device. His device said it was 37 nautical miles, which is 42.6 statute miles, but when you plot the same exact location that we were at, the exact distance you get on Google Earth is 46 miles. So you basically add about 4 miles to all the numbers that you saw in the half-hour video. But I'm beginning to think if that is indeed the science, and let's just go back and hear from the experts once again what's happening with the atmosphere.
The science is the same of that of a lens. Here's a simple example.
So if you're looking at Chicago here, just maybe now you can just see the top of the Sears Tower, and if our simulated temperature inversion moves into place, hopefully now you can see pretty much all of Chicago,
see all the lower buildings,
including what's at ground level.
So the atmosphere really is acting like a lens.
Yes.
Atmosphere really is acting like a lens, and this is how much of the city is missing due to the lensing effect, the magnification of the atmosphere.
So you see, objects in the distance can be brought closer, at which point the bottoms get cut off due to the lensing effect of the atmosphere. I understand that you believe that curvature is what's hiding the bottom of the smokestack and light is bending it upright, but just think about that. Why have we never once seen a building tilting back or tilting sideways? Are you telling me that buildings and structures always get straightened out even though they are supposedly behind enough curvature to be tilted? I mean, look at your own drawing. Even if you are close to accurate but not quite, the smokestack should be noticeably angled or tilted. But not once in the history of mankind have we obtained photographs of tilted buildings and structures. Why is that? Everything is always an inferior mirage, superior mirage, light bending, or whatever.
And what you're seeing here is a mirage.
These are just ways to explain away why there's no measurable curve. It's ridiculous, Cody. Check out this video from Jenna Freddo, and everybody please subscribe to her channel. She's just awesome. Do you understand what you are seeing? The elevation of the camera was 6 feet above Lake Ontario, looking 31 miles across the lake at the Toronto skyline, which clearly shows the Rogers Center, which the Rogers Center has a total height of 306 feet above the lake. But at the distance of 31 miles, the curvature drop is supposed to be over 500 feet. The Rogers Center should have not been visible whatsoever. Absolutely wonderful work, Jenna. Guys, go sub to Jenna. Now, Cody, if curvature of the Earth is visible from the ground, then why is it when a high-altitude balloon goes up to 120,000 feet without a fisheye lens, you still can't see a curve? Why does the horizon rise to eye level if the horizon is supposedly curving away from you on the ground? It doesn't make sense. Please think about this stuff, Cody. You're very intelligent. Make a response video or whatever. I'm eager to hear from you. Have a great day. Peace.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
So, Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning, and it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere, it's oblate, and officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby is a good way. It's like pear-shaped. So it's not actually a sphere. Officially, it's an oblate spheroid. It's like pear-shaped.
Where is the curvature? Where? Where is the curvature? Where? Where is the curvature? Where? Where is the curvature? Where?
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories.